Welcome, friends. It's good to see you. My name is Remy, and I um, bought a washcloth today. It's not the most exciting thing I've ever opened a stream with, I'll be honest with you. Um, but it is true. Listen, sometimes I'm just domestic. It's like that. I got tired of using up all of my paper towels to dry dishes, so whatever. Dish towel now. Um, yeah. So what are we doing tonight? We are finishing up Witch Strandings, uh, a wonderful little game about uh, making paths and helping people. To that end, let's talk about our content warnings just a little bit. Although, pardon me, um, although I don't think I need to warn for terribly much. Uh, the game is about wandering in a lonesome wood, except it's not that lonesome because there are all sorts of animals in it. Animals who were people before they encountered the witch in one way or another and weren't really having a good time in their lives before then. Uh, but the descriptions that we are given of them are not terribly psychologically disruptive, I don't think. Um, I will still be reading forward before I just blast descriptions out there. So if there is something I need to warn for a little more clearly, I will try to do that. Uh, but I think this will be just a pleasant time generally. That's for the game. Content warnings for myself, as usual. I am a strange person who sometimes makes weird sex jokes or speaks frankly about their trauma. I don't think I will be doing that tonight, but you never know. I'll try to warn you before I do that too. All of that being said, let's just jump into it. Double click the button that brings up which Strandings. I think I double clicked that. I might have just single clicked it. I might have not clicked quickly enough. There we go. By Strange Scaffold and Modern Wolf. So the thing that I said is the content warning is basically the entire game. There's not much of a narrative to catch you up on. Uh, we are a mote of light, building bridges with resources and helping animal friends by bringing them more different resources. And which one of these is correct? The one that's just a little bit later, obviously. This? Yeah, that sounds right. Somewhere in the woods is a witch. I don't know how we're going to handle the witch. Can we turn up the in-game audio? We cannot, but I can do that here on OBS. I don't know why it was that low. Why did I have that turned down? What the hell was Sept playing before this? Something loud, presumably. Right, so quick refresher, there are hex tiles, the shaky ones with the glowing triangle in the middle of them. We can neutralize them with these funguses. There are other types of hazardous tiles which we can negate in other ways. Mostly we are trying to just make the forest safe to traverse for us and all of our animal friends, and as they become variously sick or injured or hungry or thirsty, we can bring them things to help them out. Roland here, honest and tired. Good old Roland the raccoon is injured. And do we have something? Well, water scanner right here. The water skin will help with injured. There you go, Roland. Humming, but still tired. It's maybe useful to do the image description again before we get deeply into it. We are a little mote of blue light. I control that with the mouse cursor. The world as we view it is a top-down view of a grid of squares of various colors and shapes denoting different types of terrain. Green is safe, blue and slushy is rapid water that will drown you. The hex tiles, like I said, are shaking and have glowing triangles in the middle of them. We have a clock at the bottom right of our screen, which is slowly advancing time forward. Well, it doesn't advance time forward. Time advances forward on its own, but it shows us that time is advancing forward. It has just changed from evening to day, and every day and every day, I think, our animal friends become hurt or hungry or tired again, and every couple of days our the resources respawn in the areas where they would have spawned in the first place. But the ones that have already spawned don't go away, so we can build up little stockpiles to make sure that everyone can have what they need. Let's have a look at Heather here, the bunny, Heather. Trying to believe in brighter days. Thirsty. We can help with thirsty, because berries help with that, and we have plenty of those. In fact, let's get one from out here, since we have plenty of them. We don't need to go to our stockpile for that. Nom. Oh, also note that we have a health bar in red, and to the bottom left we have a picture of a tree. It started out a sort of empty blue, and yes, and has been slowly filling in the more and more we help the animals around the forest. I think it said on the save screen that we were, what? That the forest heart was 70 or so % repaired. So that's another thing we're doing. We're presumably doing an alright job at it. Let's open that up just a little more. The flooded bend discovers your presence. Donna's over here somewhere. Hi, Donna. Oh, I didn't mean to click on Donna, but this is a description of Donna. I'm just going to go ahead and read it. They arrived in the forest together, and now she writes breakup songs in her head that he'll never let her sing. Deer is lost in the green, and Donna is learning to be alone with herself. Donna is injured. What helps with injured? The water bottles, right? Help with injured? Hang on, let's grab that gnarled staff over here. And use that to continue to open up this area, the riverhead. Oh, a little bit more than that, or a little bit less than that. A little bit more or less than that. Yes, water skin helps thirsty and injured. Let's drag that back to Donna real quick. Let's check in on everybody real quick here at first. Before I start like taking apart the next area for us to go, because we've opened up most of the map. The only area we haven't yet is behind an area called Black Tree, and I need to drag some mushrooms over there, I think. Frog croaks to his own rhythms and is thirsty. Here are berries, Frog. Frog is burbling a new single. Wonderful. Chad's over here too somewhere. Hi, Chad. Chad Shakespeare, leaping to forget, is disturbed. Ooh, what? No, we're not doing that. We don't reference that band anymore. Okay. There's blankets in the riverhead, so I get back around and into there. Those help with disturb. There you are. Please come here. Actually, I'll just hit G to store you, so that I don't have to click and drag. I can just move the mouse around. There you go. Chad now contemplating other worlds, and good for Chad. Lex, I think, is up here, the wolf. Somewhere. Oop, no. Please do not fall into the poison bramble. It does not kill me quite as fast as the waters do, but I still would not like to die. There you are. Again, I didn't mean to click on Lex, but I did anyway, so let's read it. He came into the woods to get a moment alone, a moment to separate and think. That was a long time ago. Occasionally he wonders what happened to those he left behind, and the grandchildren he will never meet. Lex is injured. But there are water skins in Riverhead too. I should grab a couple more. Gnarled staffs. Maybe over from Mothman's place and open up a way into Riverhead on this, the left side of Riverhead, because otherwise I have to go around quite a ways in order to get back into it. I suppose I could just take a couple that are in there. Water skin, right, down here. And stored. Let's go ahead and grab. Let's go over and check out. No, please get out. Okay, wonderful. I'm so glad that I did not die right there. Oh, hang on, I'm over here with Eric. Was disturbed, that's okay. There are blankies for you, Eric. It's just over here. There you are. There's only one more gnarled staff over here. That's okay. More will spawn over there here in a day or so. In the meantime, I can just use this one and open it up a little bit. Right here, as close in as that can get. Yeah, that definitely, I would like that opening to be a little broader, but it's not. There we go. The heartbeat of the forest grows stronger. I did the hard rock and roll last week, or not last week, on Tuesday. I'm not going to do it again, even though I really want to. Can I get to everyone in one day? I wonder. I'm doing a pretty good job of it so far. What does Mothman need? Hi, Mothman. You are sick. You need a poultice, I think. Or medicine? Medicine. Is there medicine up here? In the picnic basket? Doesn't really look like it. Oh. Oh, Kara watching the sky. That's over by the... Oop, no, here's medicine. Grab that. Hey, stop that. Grab that and take it down to Mothman. I think the answer is yes, I probably could get to everyone in the span of one in-game day. Although it would take a lot of work. And some pretty precise I was about to say microcontroller, I don't mean that. Alright, I need to... Oh, please, get out of there. There's that fucking thing again. There's another piece of UI that pops up sometimes when I've been in one of the hazards for slightly too long. It sort of looks like a skeleton from the hips up. It's never filled all the way out, so I don't know what it does. Apparently it doesn't do it if I just use the... If I just put myself in the poison moss for a little while. Let's move up. Oops, no, over this way. Here too. Black tree. Again, there's the seeds. They kill creatures. We're not going to use those. They are just going to be there. And yeah, I need the way through there, which is the only area we haven't gotten into on the map currently, uh, is covered in hex tiles. So I need a bunch of mushrooms in order to be able to get past there. Take just a second to have some tea while I wait for the day cycle to cycle. It's the last of that. Still very good tea. But, no. Where can I get some extra mushrooms that aren't being used to cover up other things? Does this do that? I mean, yes, and okay, I can just kind of use that one, that's fine. There's more down here. Yeah, there's actually plenty more down here on the very, very south of the map. Oop, hang on. I helped Heather again because Heather was thirsty and there was a berry right near to her, so I just went and made that happen. And that is apparently filled up to the thing. Your actions, says the game, have made a difference. By caring for its inhabitants, you have given the forest strength to speak. It has created something at its heart, in the place where you were born, a manifestation of love, and it wants you to deliver it to the witch. Somehow, it believes she can change. Let us go have a look at the thing that has spawned. The culmination of your labors, this ethereal heart, calmly beating in the dense expanse of the forest, materialized when you showed consistent care for others. It is proof that the world can be better. Love, used to love witch. We will leave that where it is for the moment. And actually, yeah, let's go ahead and fast travel to... Can we not fast travel to anywhere but Forest Heart now? Because I don't like that. I spent all that time fixing structures. Yeah. Yeah, all of the fast travel spots just take us to Forest Heart now, I guess. Okay, that's fine. It's not like the journey is terribly arduous. We can just get up that way. Carefully maneuver our way around these hex tiles and the mossy poison moss, the mossy poison, or poison moss. I think this other second haunted mycelium too with us. Well, I think we're going to need a little bit more than this in order to get through the whole zone. I might as well start here, though. The black corridor discovers your presence. Yeah, I've put down 2 mushrooms about as well as I can put them down, and there's still quite a distance to go. Yeah, that sort of wrangles through everything, huh? We'll just take that haunted mushroom and drag this one, because they're both not being used to sort out other things. I just have to swoop our whole ass way there. Nope, nope, nope. No, please let go. Okay, so I did die. Lower push sensitivity in the settings menu. No, I don't think I need that. I just think I need to not die. Why don't you just not die, Joel? Yeah, I don't fault the settings for that. I fault my own flailing and panic. So I'm just gonna... Actually, I can just cut right through the... just cut right through Riverhead, huh? Which I think is fine. Picked up another pack of mushrooms on the way. No, stop doing it. I just need to be a little more cautious as I walk around this space. Okay, we're through the corridor. There is a note here in Witch Grasp, apparently. You feel your spirit shrink as you enter the tree line. The pressure is immense, like standing at the bottom of the ocean, and feeling your eyeballs press back into your skull as you vainly look upward for relief. This is the Witch Grasp, and right now, she's choking you. There is, however, another soul to care for up here. Let us learn about them. This is Fox, who squints towards your haze. They are currently injured. Unlike many of the forest creatures, Fox appears to have always been a fox. As you approach, the memory of her every waking moment thrills through your being, like a dossier assembled by the forest itself. Fox snuffles in your direction as if to say, "Are we done here?" and scurries elsewhere. There's a big lake. Still Lake, which has discovered our presence, by the way. The island in the center of the lake trembles beneath even your ethereal weight. It feels disconnected from the earth, like an untethered boat on the verge of sinking. It feels wrong. I'm just looking around for any other areas we can go to. Fox is injured, and we should be helping with that. We don't have anything that would help. There aren't resources on this side, huh? Oh, I'm wrong. Here's Heath Pocket. Oh, and another soul to care for. Let's read about Heath Pocket real quick. Stolen away in the heart of the witch's corruption, there is a place of peace. One could ask why or how, but perhaps it does not matter. Perhaps this is what defiance looks like. To exist in joy where you are felt not to belong. A remedy which helps sick, disturbed, hungry, and thirsty. I think... Was Fox any of those? No, Fox was injured, right? Let's look at the owl that is over here in Heath's Pocket. Bahar, I think. Bahar, catching up on sleep, currently thirsty. Every day she spends here is another day she doesn't have to review client briefs or answer yet more emails. Bahar doesn't doubt that she can reverse her transformation if she tries enough, but for now she is enjoying the opportunity to simply exist. No, let go. So yeah, there's a few remedies up over there in Heath Pocket. We can go yet further north. So I'm doing that. The Grasp branch discovers your presence. Where there is more hex tiles, but also a bunch of quicksand. We'll just go ahead and drop that. It's fine that there's quicksand. There were gnarled clubs over on the little island over by Still Lake, and that's what fixes that, I think. Nullifies water and quicksand. Yeah, so let's grab a couple of those, and we can start clearing out that area. Just a little bit. Making our way around just a little bit. Here we go. So let's move it inside. Like that. There, I think. That's gonna get us the most bang for our branch, I think. Here is the old home. Let us read the note. Pardon me rubbing my eye real quick. I should wash my face, but I'm not going to do that right now. Peeking through cracked windows, you see jars of mysterious liquids still lining carefully carved shelves. The former home of the witch was loved once, and it is not clear who is more harmed by her absence, the cabin or the witch herself. A bunch of these areas have, have connections that I need grotesque stones in order to uh, fix, and there's not any of those over here on this side, I don't think. But I can just take care of that, and, well, it's going to take a little bit to get back through the corridor and the tree to get to where the grotesque stones are, but that's all right. What kind of adventure would you have had if I brought you here with a turn of the page? You ever watch Page Master? Starring Macaulay Culkin? I was thinking about Page Master, starring Macaulay Culkin earlier, because it was like mentioned on a stream I was watching. I haven't actually seen it in forever. I remember it being very good. Oop, please don't. The thing, like, fuck it. The thing, this isn't a trauma thing, but it is a personal story, so here's that. The thing that we remember most about it is that we went to go see it in theaters with our family back when our parents were still together, and we remember very distinctly because our brother and us were sitting in a row of seats, and our parents were in the seats behind. And if you have seen the film The Page Master, you probably remember the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde reveal, where like Dr. Jekyll drinks a potion and then like sort of stumbles around in back of the camera, and then like turns around with his face like directly into the camera, Mr. Hyde, and then on that line read, our brother absolutely 1000% just leapt the series of seats that we were sitting in to go sit with our parents, like fully over the seats. One might say clambered. I'm certainly doing that right now. Let's grab those grotesque stones like I was going to. I got sidetracked both by telling that story and using some gnarled clubs I'd found to open up that side hatch a little more. Let's just go around. I don't want to try and go through. Here's what I want to do. What do you need? You're injured. Does meat help with injured? Meat helps with hungry and sick. The water skin helps with injured. There should be some down here, except there's not. Use them already. Okay. Medicine doesn't help with injured, right? No, sick and thirsty. Again, don't drink medicine just because you're thirsty. Probably. I'm not your aggressively genderless parent, but there are other things you should consider drinking first. Coming up through the corridor. And we'll move over here. to the right into Heath's pocket, and there we go. Your health grows with the forest. We can now go back to Forest Heart from here. And there wasn't one of these over on, yeah, the island on Still Lake doesn't have uh, a structure to fix. It's just over there being a lake that is still. Very softly move all of this around. And here we are back at Old Home. And now Old Home is fixed. Does the note change? No, it doesn't. I was wondering if the note changed once the structure was fixed. Oh no, I don't want to go back to Forest Heart right now. Although maybe I should. I should. I'm going to, actually. So now that first of all we died, and second it's been a couple of days, a lot of the, like, general resources are refilled. So let's help all of our forest friends out again. Roland is hungry. There you go, Roland. Heather will be around here somewhere. Here you are. Sick. We have one medicine up in the thing, I think. Yeah. We have a whole bunch of poultices. Where did we get those from? Oh, anyway. Oh, right over here, actually. In the Mawson Glade. Anywhere we could go to from here? Around the other side? No, not really. Hey, the soundtrack bumps, by the way. I haven't really talked about it except to say that the track in Mothman's Pad is good, and it is. But it's a very nice ambient time. I'm wondering who the composer was. And specifically wondering if the composer was R.J. Lake, because R.J. Lake has done a bunch of the soundtracks for Strange Scaffolds games. Yeah. All of the things being equal, I'm just gonna like take a little bit of time and open up these paths just a little bit more and help our forest friends out along the way. Um, Deer is around here. Deer is injured. The water skin would help with that, but there's not water skins. Frog is sick. Meat can help with that, and there's meat just over here, so let's grab that. At least I think it does. Yes, it does. There you are. How about Chad? I'm trying really hard not to call him Chad Gaspard, and I'm just going to go ahead and say the word out loud so that I get it out of my fucking head. Injured. Need poultices for that. What does Donna need? I think we skipped right over her as we went by. Yeah, Donna is thirsty. But berries fix thirsty, and we have plenty of berries, so... let's in fact grab a whole bunch of the poultices over here. Not a whole bunch, we can grab 2 at a time. But let's, since we have a whole bunch in Forest Heart, let's take a bunch up to, I've been calling it Riverhead, and it's not. Riverhead is the the drowning water which surrounds it. Picnic basket. And let's start sort of building a little bit more stuff in here. Actually, hang on. Frog isn't injured. Chad is, though. Let's go help Chad out. There you go. Let's see what Lex needs since we're just right here. Disturbed, which we can help with. There are blankies still in picnic basket. There we are. Tree, I don't think the heart of the forest diminishes if you don't help everyone out. On the other hand, I'm here and I can, so why wouldn't I? Injured again. Well, there's that. You're also injured. Okay, let's go get 2 more poultices from the Mossin Glade and bring them back over here. We'll use 1, and then one of them can actually stay in Mossin Glade. More Am I selling that we can get away with taking? Yeah, here. What? Oh. Well, first of all, I died. Second, that UI element that I keep talking about, the one that sort of looks like bones, it went real big right then. I'm still not entirely certain how or why. Alright, so back to the thing I was doing. Oh, everyone's back to being, everyone's back to needing a little help. That's okay. Heather is sick. And does water skin help with that? No, thirsty and injured, hungry and thirsty, injured and disturbed. Oh, poultice helps with disturbed too, that's nice. What do we need for sick? Medicine? And remedy. And the only remedy is like very far away. Up in, past the corridor in the hearth that we opened up a little while ago. Donna is also sick. But we can get a couple of medicine from the... hang on. Let's get out of the water, please. Thank you. Okay, so... there's definitely medicine up over here by the one that's looking up at the sky. Her name is currently escaping me. This is just sort of what my life is like. Kara. Kara's disturbed, so let's get her a blankie real quick. What do you need, dear? You're hungry. There's meat nearby. I can just help you with that. There you go. Let's grab a couple of medicine, and we can take them down to Donna and who was the other one that needed medicine? Was it Heather? I think so. Chad needs a blankie, but I can come back with that later. I'm doing this right now. There you go. Where did Roland go? How are you doing? Humming but still tired. Oh, you're doing just fine. Good for you. Let's grab a couple of these hot water bottles and take them back up to picnic basket. And then I want to grab some mycelium and Frog's also sick, but that's fine. There's more There's more medicine just over there. Or actually, yeah, the meat helps with sick, so let's just use that. I hardly ever use meat for anything anymore. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of mycelium down in the moth pad. So let's go down into the moth pad. And that'll help us open up the corridor really, really wide, so that won't be a thing we need to worry much about anymore. Scoot our way through the berry patch. Maybe bring some mycelium in just to clear out this area too, and the forest on the north side of the picnic basket. There we go. That's a little better. What those, what do Fox and, they're not called Bara, what are they called? Fox is injured. I don't think a remedy fixes that. But we can check. Sick, disturbed, hungry, and thirsty. No, not injured though. Bahar needs thirsty, which the remedy does help with. So there you are. Do I want to just flash back down to... Forest Heart and then just keep dragging mycelium up here so we can just sort of make this area a little cleaner to move in? I sort of want to say the answer to that is yes. So, actually, yes, let's do that. It's sort of bumming me out that I can't fast travel anywhere else anymore. I'm not sure if that's a bug or if it's the fact that the forest, the heart of the forest heart is now a mobile thing. Did that make any sense the way I said it? I kind of feel it didn't. Anyway, actually, let's start at home and clear out this area like I just said we should. And make the fruiting forest just a little bit easier to move around in. There's a bunch more mushrooms over at Mothman's place, so let's just go ahead and grab those. I should get some fucking, what the heck are they called? Whistling bones? Yes, the ones that clear out the poison moss. Because there's a bunch of poison moss over there too. Yeah, let's go do that immediately, actually, because we can get to the Whistling Bones pretty easy. I didn't almost drown, or I did. I almost drowned. It's fine. It turns out I didn't die. Grab a couple of these and take them around, take them down and around, both at the same time. Or not at the same time, I suppose. First down, because that's the way we need to go to get out of that area, and then around as we go back up through Picnic Basket, back up to the shipwreck, and drop a couple of these Whistling Bones onto heavily enmossened areas. Probably use a couple more Whistling Bones and a couple more Piece of Myself going up into the area where the tree is. So there's not mushrooms or, yeah, the only thing past the corridor, remedies, which are nice, and gnarled staves, which are also nice, but which don't fix the problem we're currently having. Let's grab you. Just take your whole shit out. Yeah, kinda. Not to the extent I would like. I'm just gonna go take another couple of trips to grab more Whistling Bones. Actually, pause the game real quick and do a water sip. That turned into a couple of big water gulps because I was apparently a little more dehydrated than I thought it was. It is like that. I automatically, when I went to pause the game, my hands just went immediately to WASD and started pressing them like that was going to make a fucking difference. It did not make a difference. That is not how this game does things. There we go. Couple more Whistling Bones. Let's listen to the sound that the moss makes when we get close to it. No, that isn't the moss making that sound. What is making that sound? Oh, it's the Whistling Bones making that sound. That sort of ooh sound. It's the Whistling Bones doing their whistling. Oop, well, okay, that's fine. I just managed to dash myself directly through a big chunk of water. It's fine. It's okay. I didn't die. Stories of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Are there any more Mycelium and Mothman's pad, or did I pull them all out already? Oh, there's a couple. There's a couple more. Let's take those up and start clearing out Witch Grasp a little more. There is a part of me that just likes seeing everything a game has, and therefore wants to, like, pick up these skulls and see what happens when you... It does say kill. I'm just going to... When you kill all of the creatures of the forest. I can't presume it's pleasant. Like, the game, like, very clearly has a point system, and further than that, a point that it is trying to make. It's like, you can do this. It makes you an asshole. Oh, okay, that is what it is. I was wondering. Oh, well, there's a closer light up over this way. That's gonna bring us out in, yeah, tree. So I finally figured out what the fucking, that UI element I keep talking about is, and it actually is a panic meter. When you get stuck uh, in a thing, when you get stuck in a hazard, it goes up depending on how much you flail your mouse about, I think. What do we need to advance further? It's a whole bunch of the uh, gnarled clubs, right? Yeah, because quicksand is the main uh, stumbling block up here. Let's actually do that. Let's go grab a bunch of those gnarled clubs over by Clear Lake and bring them up here and just sort of make our way through. I said Clear Lake. It's apparently called Still Lake. All right. We got a couple that opened it up to a little bit of an open area, but we need more in order to really push our way through. That's fine. There's some just over there. Little bit of patience, like Guns N' Roses. I don't hate that one. I don't know if I'd call it good. Go way past here. What are you doing? No, up over this way. Nope, that's a... There we go. Well, okay, so I managed to put down a number of gnarled stabs, enough to bust a way through the sporadic quicksand pits, to push ourselves out into another large open area. But the way forward is now blocked by a whole bunch of moss things. The last stand discovers your presence. Hang on. A note. Superclusters of mushrooms gather here by fate and purpose to defy the witch on her very steps. It is brave. It is foolish. It is necessary. Alright, so now we need to bring just a whole bunch of whistling bones up here, I guess, and clear out these patches of poison moss. And that's gonna take a while. I think we're in fact much better served by getting a couple of more gnarled branches and clearing out some more of the quicksand first, so that the travel back through here with the bones doesn't isn't quite so hazardous. So let's do that. Actually, I'll tell you what we'll do first. Is we'll go back up through here to that stand of mushrooms. And take those down with us so that we can clear out Witch Grasp just a little more. Please do not fall in the quicksand. I would like it very much if you didn't. Alright, set down a couple of those mushrooms. Let's go grab the gnarled branches. We can actually just go back and forth this way a couple of times, I think. Taking the gnarled branches one way and bringing the mushrooms back the other way. So that the back and the forth are both productive. Oh, no, get out of there. Right. Set down a couple of branches, bring back a couple of mushrooms. It's just going to be that a couple of trips back and forth, I think. Have anything I want to talk about? While I just sort of do these little runbacks? Not particularly. We don't have much life update stuff to talk about at the moment. Oh, hey, maybe this will be useful. September is still doing its work with the DSA. And one of the things it's been focusing on specifically is its work doing canvassing. This is going to be local politics, but not very serious politics. There are very serious politics out there and very serious politics even happening in Oklahoma, but this isn't going to be those. This isn't going to be that discussion. It's been doing canvassing for a vote in June of this year to raise the state minimum wage to $15 an hour. The vote is taking place on a day that votes don't normally, because frankly, the people who put that bill out there don't really want it to pass. But fuck them, it's going to pass anyway. So hey, if you can hear our voice, and you happen to live in Oklahoma, and you're registered to vote, maybe go for that thing. It's June 16th. There are going to be other things on that ballot. But this is the one we're focusing on. Generally, we believe you should vote in local elections, because not that we're going to vote our way out of the big shit that's happening right now. That's not a thing. But it's a tool in the box, and it would be silly to just leave it in the box because it's going to do minimal good. It will still do an amount of good. Oh, I didn't pick up the mushrooms on the way back, did I? No, sure didn't. There we go. The path there is pretty cleared out by now. That's good. It could be just a little bit cleaner. So, yeah, I think that's as good as we can do in terms of getting the quicksand out of the way. So let's go grab a couple more of these mushrooms, take them down and clear out witchgrass just a little bit. Then we can take a couple more gnarled staffs and drag them back down through the corridor and use them to clear out the floodwaters around Picnic Basket so that we can move the Whistling Bones over much, much quicker. And then we can, I think, be quite close to putting a lid on the game. Okay, back through corridor. Oh, no, I didn't want to go back through corridor. I wanted to go up to Hearth Pocket? Is that what it's called? Heath Pocket. It has kids. It needs this job. That's not a reference for no one. But I don't know if it's a reference for anyone who would choose to watch this stream. It's Heath Slater. He doesn't go by Heath Slater anymore because he got out of WWE, and WWE owns your name if you work for WWE because of the things. Because of the way the WWE is and the methods by which it seeks to control its talent. What is he going by now? I don't think that's information I know. It was probably. I'm just gonna go ahead and do wrestling talk for just a moment. It was one of the, like, more in that very small window of time where the WWE was narratively interesting. Just after the brand split, the latest brand split, had become a thing. One of the best things going was Heath Slater, because there were a lot of good things happening in WWE at the time. Like I said, it was a pretty good chunk for the company, but there was a draft to see who would go to Raw and who would go to SmackDown, and it was like a big event. It was put out like a football draft. You could probably imagine it. And then there was Heath Slater, who didn't get drafted. So like at the end of the draft show, he's just sort of like sitting there in the room that all of the wrestlers had presumably been sitting in waiting for their number to be called. Like saying, what happens now? What do I get? What happens? And they just shut the lights off on him. So he kept showing up on both shows, Raw and SmackDown, for like a number of weeks, just like trying everything he could to on get on the show. Because he, as he would say, and in fact put out a shirt to this effect, has kids and needed this job. We like Heath Slater. It's like if you're not a person who follows wrestling, he's what I don't know if this term is considered like gauche to use, but I'm going to do it anyway, I suppose. He's what you'd call a jobber. He comes out, gets his ass kicked, and makes the other guy look good, and he is fantastic at that job. And so that period of time was incredibly good because that's like he would come out, say, what, who can I fight that will convince you to give me a contract? And then they would hand him over to Brock Lesnar or whoever. He would get his ass absolutely smashed in an incredibly entertaining way. It would make the person they were trying to build up look better. It would make you feel like empathy for Heath Slater, and that carries like that story along. It was just actually very good storytelling. Wrestling is very good storytelling when they're allowed to do it correctly. We're still happy with the stance that we once had quoted. We love professional wrestling, which is why we hate the WWE. Maybe they're better now. We haven't watched in a long time. Being honest, we're kind of waiting for like stares at internal monologue, picks out a couple of idiomatic phrases that aren't useful in this moment. We're sort of waiting to hear that there's been a massive sea change over at that company before we give it a shot again. In the meantime, there's independent wrestling, of which there is a lot of good independent wrestling. All right, the new Enjoy went up that we haven't watched yet. The one from not over Christmas. The Christmas was the one with no, it was the one over Christmas. The one with Paul London and Sonny Kiss versus Billy Dixon in a cage. We need to get on that. Ooh, we're gonna need a lot more whistling bones than this, huh? Yeah, that's okay. probably, let's go ahead and grab a couple more mushrooms since we're over here on this side anyway. So we can clear out a couple more hex tiles and again make that just a little bit safer to move in overall. Um, that right there. Nice and easy. A new day has begun. No. I was wondering if maybe I should take a break, but it's only like 9:30. Honestly, we will probably be done with this game before 10, like I was on Tuesday. Okay. So maybe there's two more. No, please get out of the water. Thank you. So maybe this last two chunks of whistling bone will manage to get us all the way through that wall of thorns. Wall of Thorns is definitely a magic card, right? It is. I remember we even had a deck that ran it, although I don't know what it is right now. Like, presumably it's a, what, like 1/5 with wall? Or it would be Defender now, I guess. It's it's been a long time since we played Magic too, for similar reasons. Almost. Probably one more trip will do it. Actually, no, hang on. That doesn't matter. I was about to say, maybe I could just, like, take a couple of the... which I could. Just take a couple of the Whistling Bones and use them and just go back and forth with them, and it would cut a path through, like a portable hole. It would do that, but I know that I'm going to have to bring that heart, the heart of the forest, back with me eventually through that, and I don't want to do like that Tower of Hanoi juggling every few steps. What's great is you can use the mushrooms like a little breadcrumb trail through Witchgrasp. So I remember which areas are actually, like, safe. Looking around for a whistling bone that won't really be whistling bone, and I guess I mean that one. The one right up against the wall of the... Right, it's a silo, isn't it? It's like a nuclear silo, is what that structure is. It doesn't particularly look that way, because all of the squares are sort of abstract, but that's what the note has told us. There's no reason for the note to lie to us, I don't think. Okay. Through Grass Branch. I think this is the last trip with the whistling bones that we're going to have to make, although it could be wrong. Nope, I'm gonna need just a little more. Gonna need at least one more trip. That is so much thorns. I guess that makes sense. I'm aware I'm being quieter than usual. I sort of don't have much to say on the gameplay front at the moment, and again, nothing really to nothing really to say otherwise. Our lives lately have been sort of packed and busy, but not with things that, well, uh, not with things that we think would be of interest to recap. We work at a job. It's fine. It provides money we can exchange for sustenance. Oh no. Went a little too far and almost got drowned in the drowning water, but got out and it's fine. Are we playing anything interesting? I mean, the answer to that is yes. Um, we, I think September talked about it, but we finished the main story mode of I Am Your Beast by this same developer. And that game is really fucking good, but that is not news. Now we're gonna need another trip, I think. At least one more. It is so loud over there. I don't know what's causing that. That's not the whistling bones. I guess that's the sound the witch makes. Huh. Oh, it is that sound, isn't it? That's the sound that we were hearing over there is the sound that the hex tiles make, just more. Still in Witch Grasp. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and come over here, because these, yes, gnarled clubs have respawned. I'll grab 2 of those so we can open up the floodwaters a little bit more on the way back so that I don't keep almost accidentally drowning. Here's something, I guess. We've been re-listening rather, to Welcome to Night Vale at work. Basically from the beginning. Well, basically from the beginning. We're in the middle of like year 2 now. We're almost at the year 2 finale. And I feel certain I've said out loud on a stream before, or definitely somewhere public, that like Cecil Baldwin as the voice of Night Vale was part of the mood board that I put together when I was creating this voice for myself. But I'd forgotten just how much, like, the thing is, like, we remembered liking it, and we sort of remembered all the reasons why. And having gone back through them, it's like, yes, we did remember this, and we did accurately remember why. We forgot how fun the little moment-to-moment things are. The way that I'm going to use the word jokes, although I sort of don't mean it. The way that things on in Night Vale work is someone will just say a thing weird one time, and it'll sort of be funny, and then someone else will say it the same way again, and it'll be slightly less funny, and then someone will say it a third time, and it'll just be what that thing is called from then on. And it won't stop being funny, like every single time someone says and finds a new way to say John Peters, comma, you know, comma, the farmer. Remains very funny, but eventually that's just what the guy's name is. God damn, no, and we still need a whole nother one. We have to be getting close. Listen to how, like, brutal that is. Alright, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna do the thing I said I wasn't gonna do. Flash down to Forest Heart, and let us indeed grab the heart of the forest. And we'll take it with us. Actually, I just hit G and put it in the holding space so that I don't have to keep doing that. We'll swoop our way up this way. Back through the fruiting forest, up to the black tree, through the corridor, back into witchgrass. I'm not doing it at the speed I'm saying I'm doing it, I'm just anticipating my moves. Alright, so we're going to take the heart of the forest as deep as we can into that moss maze that we have mostly cleared out. I hope we've mostly cleared it out. Otherwise, what I'm doing right now is going to look very silly. We'll go up? No, no. Over this way. The Thorn Row discovers your presence. I don't think I saw that previously. Take it as far as we can, and we'll set the heart of the forest down there. And then we'll go all the way back to the start of, apparently, Thorn Row. grab this, grab this, and I, in fact, am going to Tower of Hanoi the whole thing, not one or two pieces at a time, because fuck that. But like whole swaths of the area at once, which will be slightly more annoying from a doing things perspective, but take a lot less time overall. We are just going to have to live with that wobble wobble noise being a part of our lives, I think. I'm going to turn it down in my headphones so that I don't have to have the worst of it. Yeah, that looks like we're almost out. It is opening up over there, which is nice. It is so much thorns. It is all thorns. Oh, we have, the game says, made it to the witch's lair. Spiraling ever upward, the witch's lair is a dark reflection of the forest heart, a winding creation of dead roots and sickly sweet rot. She came here by choice, abandoning her abode and the redemption she no longer believed was possible. The Witch. Days help to 0. The witch screams and laughs and begs. She begs you not to destroy her. She knew what she was doing. She knows it was wrong. She just doesn't know how to change. We pick up the heart of the forest. And very carefully, because there are still a lot of thorns that I didn't bother to clear out, bring it back to her. Long ago, the witch came to this forest a broken thing, and decided that she would be the one to do the breaking. Then, at some point, she realized she couldn't control it anymore. She broke the forest with her power, lest she be broken by it herself. But here you are, despite everything, bearing love. Tearfully, the witch accepts. And this takes us to our credit roll. Which Strandings? Sound design and music was by R.J. Lake, directed by Sylvia Nelson. Gee, I'm not going to be able to read all of that in time, am I? Nope. I think it is kind of interesting to compare and contrast that with the ending of oh shit, why can't I get to the name? El Paso Elsewhere. Which is also a game by the studio and also well worth your time. All of the hex tiles are gone, huh? Yeah, they sure are. So, we've respawned back in the forest heart. Well, no, not all of them. There's still a couple over here. But there's a big chunk of them over here that should be over here that are gone now. Where they would have been is covered over by mud. Is that the same for, like, most of it? Most of the things? Yeah, not all of the hex tiles are gone. But quite a lot are. And the fast travel system goes back to all over the place now, as opposed to just taking you back to Forest Heart. All of the other dangers are still here, the natural ones, the drowning water and the thorn moss, I think. Yes. But yeah, a lot of the hex tiles are just gone now. We can still, I presume, walk around and help out the spirits of the forest. I kind of want to see what happens if we go back to the witch. Except that's going to be hard as hell, isn't it? Because we're going to have to go through the thorn row again, and that's going to take a while because I closed off the opening to thorn row by doing the Tower of Hanoi thing. Okay, cool. Yep, completely closed off, and I am not going to bother doing that on stream, although I will probably do it on my own time. Because I can't remember. There's another ending to this where you get a gun and go shoot the witch. I haven't done that. Although, again, just in the interest of seeing what the game will do with that information, I might try it sometime, but not on stream. That's gonna be it for tonight, I think. If you've joined me in watching this game, thank you so much for doing so. It's good. I like it a lot. Wanted to show it off. Happy to have done that. Happy to have done that. Tried to say done that and done so at the same time. Came out with done sat. And I am done sat in this chair, but I'm gonna stand up and do my yoga, I think, after I do my outro. Before we do that, let's take this opportunity to remind you that Black Lives Matter. that Indigenous lives and lives matter, the lives of people of color matter, that Sudanese, Congolese, Palestinian, Ukrainian lives matter. That there are many ways to stand in solidarity with your fellow travelers upon this earth, and we like to push for direct mutual aid, as it helps people who are suffering right now suffer less, because people with a firm foundation under them don't need as big a lever to move the world. So take a moment, and if you feel up to it, check out mutual aid initiatives that exist in places where you operate, both online and in meet space. Because the only way we get out of this is through. And the only way we get through this is together. I have been Remy of the Free Association. And what's next on the streams? So, next stream, that's next Tuesday, is going to be an art stream. I'm just going to show up and I think I might paint an orb. I might paint an orb. That might be fun. I'll do some art on stream for a little while. And then Thursday, not Thursday, I keep saying that, Friday of next week, I'm going to start the next, like, very long play thing. It won't be very, very long, but it'll be longer than this was. Shorter than Silksong was, longer than this. That's not saying a lot considering how long I was playing Silksong for, but it gives you a little bit of an idea. And I'm going to be playing a game called The Magic Circle, which is another one of our favorite games. We played it as a one-shot a long time ago, but we want to actually just put the whole thing out there. It's very good. It has a hell of a voice cast amongst all of the other great things it is. So, yeah, that's going to be it for me. I'll see you then on the stream next Tuesday. You could do the YouTube algorithmic things if you want, the liking and the subscribing and the commenting. That's fine. We enjoy seeing it because we like knowing when people enjoy the work we're doing, but it's not. Growing the channel isn't the goal. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Until next time, love you. I want you to stay alive. I hope you have a good night.